Welcome back. So we worked on the sun salutation. We're going to build on that. But first, we're going to talk a little about different types of yoga, what those practices are used for or mean, types of poses, sequencing, which is how you put classes together from start to finish. And then we're going to do a sun salutation breakdown as well as a sun salutation easy flow. But first things first, let's talk about the different types of yoga. There are many types of different yoga and all used for different purposes, but really ultimately what yoga means is to yoke. Just like oxen on a trail that are yoked up to trail along with their wagons and migrants and family members. The yoga is basically yoking of your breath with your body, with your mind and your movement. So, yoga, to yoke. That's what that means. But there's different types of yoga and different types of yoga asana. So for different types of yoga asana, we have things like Ashtanga yoga, Vinyasa or flow yoga, Yin yoga, Hatha yoga, Kundalini yoga, as well as heated yoga, different types of meditation, and things like that are a little bit more interpretive. But first we'll talk about Ashtanga. Ashtanga is a traditional sequence of poses that you perform again and again and again. So you basically memorize this sequence and then you perform it over and over and over. Sometimes the instructor will be leading you. Other times the instructor will give you general cues and then expect you to know the entire sequence and perform it yourself. But they'll always inform you before the class begins on what type of Ashtanga yoga or maybe how they teach or their teaching style is. I mean, I can't say for sure that they'll always inform you, but if I was your teacher, I would hope to inform you what style of Ashtanga teacher I was. Oh, and then I forgot to mention Bikram yoga, which is heated. You might have seen that. There's a documentary on it. Bikram yoga is brought here from India and it was Bikram style, and really we're going to cut this part out. So moving on, we've got Vinyasa flow yoga. Vinyasa flow yoga is a very common practice of yoga. Vinyasa flow means you're just breathing and moving. The poses will go together with the breath. They'll progress in the class and then they'll come down. It'll be like a roller coaster. So you'll start small, go big, and then come home. But Vinyasa flow yoga is in a lot of common places. So I teach Vinyasa flow yoga at Free Community Yoga here in San Antonio. And you'll find it at other studios around town as well as like nationally and internationally. But Vinyasa flow yoga basically incorporates a chaturanga, which is a high plank to low, uphill, inhale for upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog. So it just uses the sun salutation basically to link all the poses together throughout the class. Another style, Hatha. Hatha yoga is very foundational. It's spelled Hatha. So it looks like Hatha, but it's pronounced Hatha. 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 The T is on the top of the palate when you say that and you don't pronounce the H, but be that as it will, Hatha yoga is very foundational. It's very structural. It's in your body. You might not do a bunch of push-ups, but you will do a lot of strong poses. You might do longer holds. This is a great practice for people in aging populations because this type of practice can prevent osteoporosis, bone density loss, and other things like that. So Hatha yoga is just very foundational, and it's also very good for longevity, right? It helps increase our muscle mass, things like that. And then Yin yoga is going to be a restorative type of practice. So Yin yoga is going to be mostly on the ground and mostly supported with the use of props and the use of blankets or bolsters just like I've shown in the video about props. Yin yoga can help release tension in the body. It can also feel a little uncomfortable to hold long stretches. So just know that if we're practicing yin yoga at any point in time and you feel a little bit of discomfort or a sensation in your body, that's totally normal. Pain, that's not normal, but discomfort, that's decently normal. So if you can fight through the discomfort or just breathe through it, knowing that this is temporary, that these poses, we're not going to be there forever. That's what I like to reassure my guests, clients, whenever I'm doing a yin yoga restorative tile practice. That's mostly used indoors and in studio spaces because you would need props usually for that type of practice, or really to get into the really juicy poses and get the most out of it. Another style of yoga that I love to teach and also love to practice is called Kundalini yoga. And Kundalini yoga is a combination of breath, mantra, which is like a prayer or chant or something you would say, and movement or positions. So it's a components of 3 different things, and it was created by Yogi Bhajan and brought to the United States in about the 1960s. This practice is very invigorating. It's a little bit different. I don't know that we'll practice Kundalini yoga in our course this semester, but maybe I'll show you guys some things later on. But Kundalini yoga, it's meant to activate all the chakras in the system. They say that there's a coiled snake living at the base of your spine, which is your root chakra. And that in Kundalini yoga, we wake up this snake and we allow it to go up the whole line of the chakra system and fire it up, bring it into more alignment. So maybe you feel a little bit energized, maybe you have some help with digestion, maybe you feel like you're in a better mood. So a lot of those practices in Kundalini as well, they are like prescription based. So they're gonna invite you to treat something that's going on in your life. Recently I've taught a Kundalini practice to strengthen the aura. So that's a pretty cool one, strengthening the aura. But yeah, maybe we'll do that one later on. So those are the different types of yoga. We've got Ashtanga, Vinyasa, Yin, Kundalini, Hatha, heated yoga, which heated yoga is common in studios all across the United States, especially here in San Antonio as well. You can take a hot yoga class and really sweat it out. Typically those are either Vinyasa style or Yin. So yeah, those are the different types of yoga classes. Next, we're going to talk about different types of poses. So throughout our time in this course, we'll be going over different sequences of poses. We'll be learning different poses, what they're used for, why you would do them right, and how long to hold them, what type of classes would they be in, and then inviting you to kind of feel them in your body and try them on for yourself and see what you like best. We'll be doing different types of poses such as heart opening poses, which would be in the chest area. That might be leaning back. Another type of poses would be strength poses. So maybe feeling really strong from the feet up, and some very big warrior poses. Balance. Maybe you've seen a tree pose before. Back bends, restorative, and then foundational yoga poses. So I'm really excited to go on this path with you. And now we're gonna move into Sun Salutation A breakdown. So I received a few questions about the Sun Salutation and just wondering what the different poses were. Maybe you had to pause the video, maybe you had to replay it, write down all the different poses. No worries, that's all good, but we're gonna go over it again here today. So for the Sun Salutation, you don't need anything but yourself and your mat. I'm gonna hop up, I'm gonna move my meditation cushion. Sun Salutation, I'm just gonna go through and I'm gonna show you these poses. Typically, we would perform the poses on our mat long ways. I saw some submissions where you perform the pose this way, which that's great, and I love seeing you on camera. You can also face your mat this way, but typically we would be performing the poses the length of our mat. So let's go over these poses. First, you have mountain pose. Mountain pose is a grounding standing pose. You root from the feet up. Typically they're about hip width distance apart. Little bend in the knees. Shoulder blades roll down and back. And then lightly engage the belly, pull it towards your spine. Shoulder blades and triceps spin back, palms facing forward. Here in this mountain pose, you're just breathing. This is the traditional mountain pose. It's just standing here. That's it. Next, upward salute. We would go upward salute. All it is the same thing as mountain on the feet and the core and the legs. All you do is lift the arms up. This is upward salute. Also, check to see if the traps are really turning on and you're shrugging your shoulders. You don't want to shrug your shoulders. You want to roll them down the back and have them open up overhead. Upward salute. Next, forward fold. All you do, same feet, same legs. Just bend it all the way down. Let the head hang. This is forward fold. This is halfway lift. There's a few variations of halfway lift. You can have your hands on the thighs with the flat back, elbows pull back, triceps engaged, belly's pulled in, chins lightly tucked. This is with the hands on the thighs. My legs are pretty straight here. I personally am pretty flexible, so this is easy for me to do. If you're not there yet, that's okay. You can lightly bend the knees, keep a flat back and spine. Hands can come to the shins. This is the same thing. This is also a halfway lift. So if we don't have the flexibility in the hamstring and you need a little bit of space, no problem. Just drop the booty just a bit. Hands come to the shins. Belly sucks in. Gaze is towards the mat. This is halfway lift. Next, let's go over high plank. High plank is a traditional push-up style. So hands come underneath the shoulders, palms are spread wide into the mat, and then the feet, make them about hip width distance apart. We don't want them super far apart, but you can for stability. Also, we don't want them on a tightrope. That makes it pretty challenging. So about hip width distance far apart, and then you pull the belly up towards the spine, press the mat away. This is high plank. This is modified plank. Same thing, knees are dropped. If this hurts your knees, no worries. I recommend, again, you don't need another tool or different prop. All you can do is just roll up your mat, just one little fold like that, and then you step on it with your knees, and then you have a supported high plank here with a little bit of a cushion. Belly pulls up, press the mat away, chin tucks. That's our modified plank. I'm gonna unfold this. Okay. So from there, we're either in high plank or modified. This is when you begin to do your chaturanga. So what that looks like, your vinyasa. You go to a low plank. What I need from you is to just pull these elbows in. I'm doing the modified version first. Elbows pull in, tuck and bend the elbows towards the body, and then lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes. This is our low plank variation. Then from high plank, we would go from high plank, and you would lower down, not touching the body on the mat. This is our low plank. Woo! Spicy! Not every day you're asked to hold a low plank, but that was today for me. Okay, all good. So high plank to low. You can do the high plank modified or regular, and then the low is just lowering down for a gentle hover with the elbows pulled in towards the body. From there, we'll pretend like I did the modified. We're going all the way down. This is the modified version. So we'll inhale, the heart lifts, elbows pull back, tops of the feet are actively pressing into the mat, hands are pressed into the mat. My back is holding me up. This is called baby cobra. This is where you would come if you came from the low plank version. I mean, from the modified plank, sorry. So you go modified, lower all the way down, belly touches the ground, untuck the toes, hands come to the rib cage. We inhale, heart lift, baby cobra. If you're doing the full range of motion or the full expression, we go, here we go. We go high plank to low, hover here, inhale, untuck the toes, inhale, heart lifts. My legs and thighs and knees are off the ground. This is upward facing dog. Upward facing dog is not this. The legs are not on the mat for upward facing dog. Whew. Whew. This is another one of those poses that, dang, you hold that for a while. See how my legs are not touching the mat? That's upward facing dog. And then this is downward facing dog. This is how downward facing dog looks, upside down B. Your downward dog might have a wider stance. That's okay. A wider stance is more accessible. Take the feet wider if you need more room in your body. If you take the feet together, you can see that that's a little more challenging. My feet, I like them hip width distance. This is downward facing dog. Then you come back up to the top of the mat. Inhaling into that halfway lift. You let it back down for a fold. Then you root to rise. We go back into that upward salute. And then we go back down into that mountain pose. So that's the breakdown of the different poses in Sun Salutation A. So with that, we are going to now go into a Sun Salutation A easy flow. So for this, I'm going to be just doing the flow and then adding a voiceover. I don't know why I had to tell you that. So I'm going to do this yoga flow. We're going to get started. We're going to incorporate Sun Salutation A. We're going to incorporate some other poses to get us going and a good foundation of where we're going to go next. And you'll see how you might incorporate Sun Salutation A into more poses and different styles of practice. But here we go. We'll take a comfortable seat. This is how we're going to begin this class. So find a comfortable seat. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, release through the mouth, sigh it out. One more big inhale. Exhale. Here we're using our breath, inhaling, reaching the hands up overhead. Exhaling, cactus the arms. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, cactus. One more time. Inhale it up. Exhale, cactus. Take the hands to the knees, round through the spine, give yourself a little shoulder and back stretch. Just wiggle around. Coming back to center. Inhale, sweep the hands up overhead. Exhale, take the right hand to the left knee. Left hand goes behind you, and we're twisting it open. Breathing here, don't ever hold the breath. One more full body breath on this twist. I've got my right hand on my left knee, and then my left hand is behind my body, and I'm using it to twist myself even further. Back to center. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, opposite hand, opposite knee. Left hand, right knee. Right hand behind. Breathing here. Maybe you notice one side is different than the other. It definitely is for me. 2 more full body breaths. I have my left hand on my knee. My right hand is reaching behind my back, and I'm twisting, getting a nice stretch. 1 more full body breath. Exhaling back to center. Next, we'll come on to hands and knees. This is called tabletop. Meet me in tabletop. So the wrists are stacked under the shoulders, the knees are stacked under the hips. Everything's in a line here. This is tabletop. We'll go through what's called cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. See how my belly and my back is arched? My tops of the feet are still rooted. I'm looking up, opening my collarbones here. And then exhale, round through the spine, the mid-back pulls up, press the mat away. That's our cat pose. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. One more time, inhaling, cow pose. Exhaling, cat. Coming back to center. We'll take some hip circles here, so draw some circles with your hip, maybe to the right, ooh, and then to the left. Coming back to center. Walk the hands over to the right side of the mat, extend the arms, and then stretch the left booty towards the left heel. We're getting a side body stretch here. And then back to center. Walk it over to the other side. Walk it to the left side of the mat. Right hand comes off, left hand comes off, and then same thing. I'm trying to hold the earth and then bring my right booty towards my left heel, stretching this whole side body. Allow the breath to flow in and out through the nose. Coming back to center. Meet me back in that sturdy tabletop. Plant the left hand in the middle of the mat. Right hand, sweep it up to the sky. Gaze towards your hand. We're trying to stack our hand and shoulder over the whole arm and shoulder. And then exhale. This is called thread the needle. You bring your top arm and then reach it underneath your body and then come to lie down on that shoulder. And then the left hand, it supports you here. Threading the needle, breathing here. This one's a nice stretch. Yeah, I love thread the needle. One more breath. Left hand is going to support you. Press into the mat, reach the right hand back up, stretch it out. Ah, I can hear my back popping. And then let's take it down to the other side. So the other side, the right hand plants this time. Left hand, sweep it up, gaze follows. Hand is alive too. See, my hand is very alive. It's not weak. It's not just like, okay, anyway. Hand is alive, reaching up, and then thread the needle. Come to lie on this side. I'm still using my right hand to support me, so I'm not crunching into the shoulder like that. I'm holding the mat away, opening up, breathing here. Thread the needle on this side. One more breath. Coming back to center. We can counter stretch it out one more time. We come back to center. And then I'd like to invite you to take a child's pose. So for child's pose, the knees come as wide as the mat, the big toes to touch, send the hips towards the heels, and then walk the palms out in front of you, forehead rest down here. This is actually a pretty intense pose. So this is where I would say if you had a blanket or blocks or something else that you could use, you might be able to, if it's hard to get your booty towards your heels, you can always use blocks to elevate the hips for a bit of support. This is child's pose. Walking the hands back up towards the body. Bringing the knees together. I'll just kick my little blocks out of the way. Meet me back in that neutral tabletop. And then extend the right leg straight behind you. So you can't see if my foot is stamped. There we go. Okay, it's behind my vignette table. So my foot is stamped. My heel is directly in line with my hip. My hands are still planted and stable. This is right here, breathing here, three-legged tabletop. You can do little pulses here for a little bit more of a workout style, or you can just breathe and hold it. If you want to try some balance on, you can extend the left arm up overhead towards the top of the mat. Brace the core, breathe here. You can also come back to center, take a few cat-cows to reset. Coming back to center, let's try the other side. See how we're feeling on the other side. Left leg extends. Awesome, breathing here. Maybe you pulse the heel up just a bit. Coming back to center. Perhaps I almost did the same arm, same leg. Don't do that. Right arm extends, left leg is extended. Breathing here, gaze is towards the mat. Coming back to center. Tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the knees off the mat, gentle hover. This is like a bear crawl. Breathing here. This is also an ab workout. Lowering back down. Untuck those toes. Tuck them back up. Let's send it up for our first downward facing dog. I like to pedal it out here. So in the first downward facing dog, maybe you pedal out the legs to stretch through one side and the other. This can feel good if you sit at a desk all day or you're tight. Feels good to get a little fluid movement in the body. And then come back down to a neutral downward facing dog. We're going to start going through some sun salutations. Meet me at the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale to your half lift. That's that flat back, hands to shins, belly sucks in, or thighs. Half lift, exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, upward salute, fingertips and gaze. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back, high plank. Or modified, take what you need, okay? Lowering down, inhaling upward, exhaling downward. Three more times, just like that. Travel to the top of your space. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, upward salute, fingertips and gaze. Exhale, swan dive. Plant the hands, step back, plank. I'm going to do the modified version to show you what that looks like. Plank to low plank. Inhaling, for your baby cobra. Exhaling, tucking the toes, lifting up through that modified plank, and then into downward facing dog. Travel to the top of your space, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Upward salute. Exhale, palms to heart center. We have a few more rounds just like that. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, hop, step, or float to the back of the space. Lower down, inward, lower down, and then upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog. I can tell you, it's pretty challenging to do it with my voice and show you the moves. But we're here, we're rocking and rolling, we're doing it. Walk it out here, lean into one side or the other. Let's go through 2 more rounds of Sun Salutation A. Hop, step, or float to the top of your space, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, upward, fingertips and gaze. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands, step back, hop, step, or float. High plank to low, upward, downward. 3 breaths here. Maybe open mouth side out. Travel to the top of the space. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, upward. Exhale, plant the hands. Walk it back. Into that high plank. Maybe you notice you need to take the modified, untuck the toes, lower down. Belly comes down, palms to the rib cage, elbows pull back. Inhale, heart lifts, baby cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips up through that modified plank, and then into downward facing dog. Let's add on here. Inhale the right foot high to the sky. Maybe you bend and open the knee. Draw some knee circles. Back to center. This is called 3-legged dog. Step the right foot between the hands, lower down on the back knee, untuck the toes. You can use the thigh to come up. We're actually in a low crescent lunge. My right knee is over my left ankle. Inhale, sweep the hands up overhead. This is low crescent lunge. Breathe here. One more breath. Cartwheel the hands. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Right hand sweeps up high to the sky, low lunge with the twist. Breathe here. This feels good. One more breath. Cartwheel that hand back down to the mat. Step your back foot up to the top of the space. Feet hip width distance, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Step back, we're taking it to the other side. High plank to low. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward. Nice work. All right,
Meaning back in downward facing dog. Left foot high to the sky, just like we did. Send it up, bend the knee, draw some circles, opposite direction. Send it up, out long, step it between the hands. We're going back into that low lunge. Untuck the back toes. You can use your hands to walk it up. Getting sturdy and stable here. It's okay to take your time to get set up. Sweep the hands up overhead. Low crescent lunge on the left side. Breathe here. 2 more full breaths. 1 more. We're taking it into that lunge with the twist. Hands plant, right hand plants on the inside of that left foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, stay low. You're supported with the right hand, left hand sweeps up, gaze towards that hand. Breathing here. Low lunge with a twist. You can also keep the knee down on the back if you need to, no worries. Just like that. Plant that left hand. If you took it with the knee, tuck the toe. Let's walk it back up. Top of the space, forward fold. Take the feet hip width distance apart or more. A generous bend to the knees here. So I want you to bend to the knees even if you have flexible hamstrings. Bend to the knees and then bring the torso onto the thighs. So I'm literally placing my torso on my thighs here and then grab the elbows just like this. Let the head hang. This is called ragdoll. So I'm not like this. That's not ragdoll. My legs are extended, the hamstrings are stretched, and my body's not resting. This is ragdoll. It's pretty comfy. It's supporting the spine between the thighs. Let the head hang, grab opposite elbows. Shake the head yes, shake the head no. This can be really good at decompressing the upper back if you're at a computer or desk a lot. This is ragdoll. I'm gonna go back to face the other way because I started that way and it would be weird if I finished the other way. All right, ragdoll, release it down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, upward salute, fingertips and gaze. Exhale, palms to heart center. Meet me back in mountain pose. Palms come down by your side. Chest is open and proud, shoulders down and back. Breathing here. 2 more full body breaths. 1 more. All right, adding on, we're gonna now introduce some of the standing poses that we'll be incorporating throughout our time. This is Warrior 2. Warrior 2, you're gonna take your left foot at the top of the space, bend the front knee over that left ankle, and then walk that foot back, your opposite foot, and it's parallel to the mat. So my hips are open towards this camera, and then my knees opening up here. So one foot's pointing forward, the other foot's pointing towards the camera. So perpendicular. This is the stance for Warrior 2. You keep the hips and shoulders open to the side that your hips are open, and then you extend the arms, and then you gaze towards the middle finger, just off that middle finger. This is Warrior 2. Try this on with me. Let's try the other side. To do the other side, we can just take that back, the foot was at the front, rotate it towards the camera side, and then rotate the back foot. See, now we're switching sides, switching directions. I know I could do it. Okay, leaning into this one, so now the hips are still open towards you. All I've done is change directions on my mat. My right knee is bent. My arms are up, shoulder blades roll down and back. Find the gazing point off that middle finger. This is Warrior 2. Similarly, we've got Warrior 1. Warrior 1 is like Warrior 2, obviously, but the hips are square to the front and the back foot is more at a 45-degree angle. So you can see now how my torso is straight ahead, my knee is bent over that front ankle, and I don't want you to go past the ankle ever. So always know that you just stop there, and if you need to make your stance a little bit smaller to have a more accessible Warrior 1, this is an accessible Warrior 1. The farther this back foot goes back, the more advanced the pose. This is just as good as this. Okay, so for Warrior 1, the arms are up, shoulder blades roll down and back, hands are pointed in towards each other, palms. That back foot is mostly all the way on the ground if you can. We have a light bend in that back knee. I don't want you to lock it out. It's a light bend. Hips are square to the top of the space. This is Warrior 1. Let's try this on the other side. So we'll take it into the other side. So again, with your posture, the feet also, I'm not asking you to be on Warrior 1 like, see, I'm on a tightrope. Definitely not. I want you to be more so feet hip width distance apart so you can actually get into and feel the pose. So see how my feet are on railroad tracks, not skiing. So railroad track your feet, give yourself hip width distance. Right foot's gonna bend into the knee. Back foot is at 45-degree angle. Hips are square. Arms reach up overhead. Warrior 1. Take a few breaths here. Try this one on. Nice. In that flow we just did, we talked about, and we did a crescent lunge. We did a low crescent lunge. So left foot is on the mat for this. Right knee is on the mat. We're stacked here. Again, not the knee over the ankle, so we've got that nice little 90-90, and then arms reach up overhead. This is a low crescent lunge. To advance a crescent lunge, we would take the back knee off the mat, step it a little bit further up, and my heel is off the mat. I'm bent in through the front knee, hips are square. This is a crescent lunge, a high crescent lunge. Let's try it on the other side. So on the other side, we had the low. Then we came up. Let's come up into a high crescent lunge on this side. Heel is off the back of the mat, shoulder blades roll down and back, suck in through the belly, breathe here. Press in through all corners of this front foot and then the ball of this back foot. 2 breaths here. High crescent lunge. 1 more breath. Cartwheeling those hands. Walking it up. Let's shake it out, shake it out. All right, now we're gonna incorporate our Sun Salutation A, our low lunge to crescent lunge, Warrior 2 and Warrior 1. Let's go on this flow together. All right, meet me at the top of your mat, or wherever on your mat. This would be the top of my mat. All right, meet me here. Find your 4 corners of your feet, root through all 4 corners of your feet, roll your shoulder blades down and back. Let the arms hang heavy, mountain pose. Take 3 breaths here. 1 breath down. 2. And 3. Mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the hands up overhead. Big stretch. This is upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back, palms to shins or thighs. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step it back or hop it back, high plank to low. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward. Right foot high. Step it between the hands, crescent lunge, right side. Breathing here, don't hold the breath. Exhale, cartwheel the hands, step the right foot to meet the left, high plank to low, upward. Exhale, downward. Left foot, high crescent lunge, left side. Breathing here. Cartwheel the hands. Step the right foot to the top of the space, forward fold. 2 breaths. 1 more. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step it back. I'm going to take the modified version, so maybe this one's your style. Modified plank to low. Inhale for that baby cobra. Elbows pulling back. Hands are by the ribs, tops of the feet rooted. Exhale, tuck the toes high. Meet me in downward facing dog. Right foot high to the sky. Step it in between the hands. Pivot the back foot down to that 45-degree angle. Hips stay square to the front. Warrior 1. Arms up overhead. Hips are square here. Chest is square to the top of the space. I'm breathing in this warrior 1. Cartwheel the hands. Step the right foot to meet the left. Downward facing dog. Let's pedal it out. Lean into one side or the other. Let's take it to the other side. Left foot. Step it in between. Back foot. 45-degree angle. Rise up. Warrior 1. Allow the breath to flow. Cartwheel the hands. Let's go through our Sun Salutation A. This is actually our Chaturanga Vinyasa, high plank to low. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward. I'll show you the Sun Salutation A, the full sequence, so let's go through that one more time. Hop, step, or float, top of the space, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back, high plank to low. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward. Right foot high to the sky. Step it in between the hands, pivot on that back foot. Now I'm parallel. You can see I'm open to the back of the screen now. My knee is bent over my right foot, right knee. Arms are extended, straight out from either side. Fingertips, find that gaze over the middle finger. Breathing here, it's called a drishti. Warrior 1. Cartwheel the hands. Let's step the right foot to meet the left, back of the space, downward facing dog. Left foot high to the sky. Step it in between the hands, pivot on that back foot, rise up, warrior 2. Left side. Breathing here. Find the gaze, middle fingered. It's called a drishti. Allow the breath to flow. One more breath. Cartwheel the hands. Top of the space, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, upward salute, fingertips and gaze. Exhale, palms to heart center. 2 breaths here. One more. Nice work. So today we went over the Sun Salutation. We did the breakdown of all the poses and how they look.
different styles of yoga, different types of poses. And then we had our easy flow, where we incorporated crescent lunges, low lunge twist, warrior 1, warrior 2, and Sun Salutation A. So I'd like to invite you to flow through a little bit more. Maybe you replay this video, listen to me guiding you through the course, and you do the practice with the Sun Salutation A, the warrior series, the lunges. Let's see how you do. So incorporate that Sun Salutation A with those other poses. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Thank you so much.